Hi, I'm homosexual Bryan Safi.
And I'm feminasty Erin Gibson.
And this is Attitudes, LGBT plus issues,
Gender issues.
pop culture.
Ooh. Ooh.
Wow. Can you handle it? That was like
I think
Strauss
it's fun to... Oh, thank you.
meets Betty Boop.
Strauss yogurt?
Exactly. You sounded exactly like yogurt just then.
Hello, Mr. New York.
How are you, Miss Vancouver?
Have you said hello to the city for me?
I have. It's actually been so beautiful here. I can't even tell you.
And you've been stuck inside all day?
Been stuck inside all day. I went out to lunch today, but yesterday I was out a lot, which was nice. But it's been like 65 and sunny. It's gorgeous. It feels like spring.
Get that in your bones because you know what's going to happen in summertime. It's going to be flip-flops, asphalt.
Weeks here, I know that you can really hit it.
It's also stunning here in Vancouver. Everyone's out. The cherry blossoms are out. It's stunning. I'm going to go to Whistler this weekend.
You're kidding.
For Easter.
How fun.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And I've been practicing.
Easter.
I've been practicing my whistles. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
What do you do in the summer? Like hike and stuff like that?
I'll tell you what, you want to get into a restaurant in Vancouver, you try to go to a nail salon in Vancouver, you do it on a sunny day because nobody's here. They
didn't answer my question remotely.
Outside people.
Yeah.
When the sun's out, people out in Vancouver.
Yeah.
So summertime, what name it? Water sports, skiing, kayaking, hiking, paragliding, airplanes.
Hot chocolate.
Yes, all of it.
Yeah.
All of it. Well, not hot chocolate, Bryan, because it's a cool 28 degrees Celsius.
But I do have a question. You got me there. So what is there to do to Whistler in the summer? Do you go hiking? Like what's there?
Hiking, paragliding.
Okay. Don't
whitewater
answer this
rafting.
question like you've already answered it. Please don't do that.
Avoiding bears, avoiding all kinds of wildlife.
Very careful.
Bobcats the size of your body. Apparently.
Right. Salmon the size of your forearm.
Salmon just horny for procreation.
You mean for seed? Yeah.
Horny for seed.
Yep. Swimming upstream for it. They're the horniest animals. Can we be honest?
Real dick pigs.
Real dick pigs and working so hard for it.
Yes. Why do they make them do that?
And
why is Mother Nature such a dick?
The healthiest fish for us is the horniest. How about that?
Yeah, well,
no one works harder for that D or that V than a salmon.
How come, and they don't even, that's not even how they procreate.
True. No one works harder for those E's.
Eggs come out, then sperm comes out, and then outside the body doth babies happen.
Isn't that
correct?
Wonderful? Yeah, because that way you don't have to, it's really the best kind of parenting when you think about it.
It's the Dumbo drop, but it's cum.
So what was the other thing you were going to say, Erin?
The other thing I was going to say, just that I love you and adore you. That's all.
Wow. Thank you. What
are you doing for Easter? Because I know you're very religious these days.
Very religious these days. Not much. I'm going to take a flight back home. New York to LA. That'll be nice.
Lovely. On Sunday. I can't imagine a better place to be as an airplane.
I got to tell you, there's no place better to be on a Sunday because everyone's deeply hungover.
People say there's no place like home, but I say there's no place like airplane.
Oh, no doubt about it. I do have an interesting philosophical question for you. And it's very straight.
Will this be insulting?
No, I mean, I think it might be for straight guys or me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it will be insulting for you.
Okay, great. I can't wait.
But I'm actually curious about your methods. Don't have questions before I bring anything up. Erin doesn't know this, but before this, I pre-recorded where I had some major mic issues. So I'm coming into this pretty
He's coming
frazzled.
in hot, but not on a hot mic.
That's true. So there's someone I am working with who's helping me with my Edinburgh show, like the back end stuff, like for the promotion and the PR and stuff. That I'm
okay. I read way too far into back end.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't know if it was one of your private clients.
one of them is like they're two wonderful people. One of them is the nicest guy. So nice.
Scots?
No, I think they're both English. Yeah.
Okay.
But
So Marks?
no. But one of them who is I'm working with a lovely lady and a lovely straight man there. Okay. I did something that I felt weird about. And I'm wondering your take on this.
You're waiting for my surprised face?
Well, and this is just like, maybe I'm too in my head, and maybe you'll tell me I'm too in my head.
Mm-hmm.
On one of the, on texts that I receive from people when I agree with them, I usually just do a heart.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that with him, and then
what I'm already stuck with is that you have responded to these people. So that's step one, and I already feel slighted. So go ahead. I know you said I wasn't going to be insulted, but color me absolutely.
Excuse me, Erin.
Enraged at the moment.
I think I'm currently no longer in arrears with our communication.
You are
I think
caught
I'm
up.
caught up.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm caught up. Is that a weird thing to do? Because immediately I did a heart, and then I was like, oh, I should only be doing thumbs up signs. Like, that's totally unprofessional.
I know. I'm sorry. Fuck these foreigners. Like, Americans.
No, he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything about it. They're lovely, but I'm just wondering. I wonder if that made him uncomfortable.
Does he think that you want to fuck him?
No.
So what's the problem? Is that you're being too nice and sweet?
I just don't know if it seems flirty or something, because that's obviously not the vibe.
Because he's a straight man. No. Here's the problem. Straight men need to deal with emotions that aren't a one-to-one sex. You know what I mean?
Would you send that to like a person you're working with who is straight that you really don't know very well?
I hug everyone on my set. Okay. I am so overly affectionate with people, and I don't want to fuck any of them.
Okay.
I
think I'm going to stick with thumbs up with him from now on, but
it's nice.
It's been
in
a while
this world.
Maybe since I've texted it. Yeah.
I think we need more softness in this world. Sue me.
Yeah. Okay, good. Because in my head, I was like, oh, are these people super proper? Or like, is hearting a text flirty? Even though
they
it was
need
something
to get on your level.
It was about a deadline where he was like, don't forget the deadline for this is blah, blah, blah. And I hearted it.
I listen, I'm a straight woman, so rules are different for me. I think I can probably get away with more because they're just like, oh, look at this fucking uterus haver. But she can't help it. That's her flaw, is that she loves too hard. You know,
I could change that heart to a thumbs up, but then realize that would be weird. Like, because anyway,
that's not weird.
Oh, all right. Well, maybe
I don't think that's weird. It's weird if it's been 5 days.
It's been like 4 hours.
But I will say I understand, because last year I had someone at my job had texted me something, and I didn't see it. And then I was looking through my texts, and I realized I hadn't responded to it. And so I wrote, ha, 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 but it was 3 days later. And I was like, that seems weird. That seems like I'm some psycho going through my text messages going, did I respond to everything? Like I have nothing else to do than to just go and recap what's already in the past. But I did spin out over it. So I understand the spin out.
No, I think that's normal. I think we're both normal.
That's not true. Tell me the best thing you've done in New York City to date. And by to date, I mean 3 days that you've been there.
I got here Wednesday, and now I have to leave actually Saturday, not Sunday.
Because of your job?
Nothing. Yes. So I've done nothing really. I had a couple of meetings yesterday. I got my hair trimmed at my favorite place. Shout out to Kevin with a Y. We love him.
You call it trimmed? Oh, you're talking about your pubes. Because nobody who does this is a trim.
No, I got my hair cut, which matches my dick, because my parents circumcised me.
Wait, is that what cut or uncut means?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I don't think I put it together, or I have since forgotten.
Cut means circumcised. Uncut means uncircumcised.
It's so goth.
And I would say this, uncut probably means you have less trauma. I'm just going to put it out there.
I don't, listen, we know how I feel about circumcision. I'm against it in all forms.
Of course. It seems awful.
I went to a bris very early on in my first marriage and saw it live, and I said, never again. Right. I'm disturbed. And it's weird that everyone in this room is okay with this.
In person, it's all crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come for me. Come for me. I don't like mutilating children, and I don't even have them.
I understand. I
shouldn't care.
I know. What about you? I mean, so really I haven't done anything. I went yesterday, I had a meeting. I went to the gym. I had to record, and I got my hair cut. I mean, nothing exciting.
Not interesting at all.
At all. Tonight I'm going to dinner at one of my favorite places here called Le Crocodile. It's a French restaurant in Brooklyn, and it's so good.
And they serve alligator?
They don't, actually. I don't know why it's called that. But they do have a delicious steak. Their chocolate mousse is so good. It's like all the French classics, but it's so delicious.
When they do specials, do they say this is the crocodile of the day?
You know what? They should.
Is it one of those places?
It really makes me want to go down to like New Orleans. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
I love New Orleans.
You know, I've never been. Isn't that crazy? I know. Can you believe it? I would love to go.
I love New Orleans. And especially if you're a music lover, you've got to go.
No, I want to go. I'm telling you, I want to go.
If you want to see the nerdiest instruments in the world reimagined to be cool, that's where you go.
And the birthplace of Richard Simmons.
Clarinet, you fucking dork. Not in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Oh, you play the oboe, you fucking dweeb. Oh, watch me getting all the pussy in New Orleans.
Honestly, they should make an ad that they stream into high schools on like Channel 1 or whatever. Being like, hey, do you feel nerdy in band class? Not in New Orleans. Do you think there's no shot of you getting laid in your high school? Not in New Orleans. And then at the end, it's just everyone in New Orleans from an aerial shot screaming, not in New Orleans, like they do on United Airlines in those videos.
If you play brass, get ready for tons of ass. Mm-hmm. New Orleans.
New Orleans, yeah. Hey, does your top of brass give you lack of ass in your high school? Not in New Orleans.
Wet your reed and your dick in New Orleans.
Put your seed where your reed is. New Orleans.
Cork up your grease and cork up your cock. Exactly. Right in New Orleans.
Yeah. Are you fourth chair? You should probably stay where you are and learn a little more.
I got my neck stabbed by a doctor.
What are you talking about?
Well, I have a frozen neck because of sitting in a chair for 12 hours a day.
Sure. Oof.
So, and you know how it is. People think like it's glamorous to be in entertainment, and there's aspects of it that are. But the thing that's the least glamorous is on set, because they give you essentially chairs that are $5 chairs to sit in all day long. You
are bundled up, even though it could be 99 degrees outside. You are in full darkness.
Windowless stage.
Yeah.
Or you're on a stage, aren't you?
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah, you go in, it's dark, and you leave, it's dark. You don't know that a day has even gone by.
It's true.
Artificial light all day long, but the chairs are the worst part. And especially like I have a trailer, but I need to be on set, and the chair is like this fucking $10 Amazon thing that I've had to like rig with a butt pad so the seat stays, so I'm not like enveloped in this like hip crushing fabric all day. Anyway, my neck got frozen, so I went to go see this guy here, this physiotherapy therapist. He took a acupuncture needle. He grabbed my trap. He goes, "This is going to be like a death grip." I'm laying down. He grabs my trap like a mad mom.
I don't want anyone thinking he's grabbing something naughty.
Yeah, no.
Trap is confusing. He's grabbing, right? I understand.
My trapezius. You said trapezoid, but it is trapezius.
Oh, sorry.
He grabbed my isosceles triangle.
Yes.
Grabs my trap like a mad mama bear, right? With his hands. Takes a needle, stabs it into my muscle, jams it around until it releases. And then... So I had that done before this, which is why when you were running behind, I was laying down. I was like, my head feels, you know, when your head feels like it's a bowling ball on your neck?
Yes.
I feel like I could just float. I am in the movie Up. I could just float into the sky with my little house. It's
so nice.
Magical. I'm telling you what, people sleeping on Vancouver, stunning here, I think all the time, but that's because I live in perpetual sunshine. But number two, the healing modalities here are, I can't even get over this. And it was fucking cheap to go see this person.
Oh, yeah?
It was like $80.
Give me a break.
And released my
Did you get a bowling ball lifted off your head? Are you crazy?
Thank you. He put my head in this like strap.
Ooh.
And then massaged my head while it was hanging.
Sounds
and like
delightful.
Dug his fucking thumbs into my neck.
One time I got a deep tissue massage on my face. It changed my
it's
life.
called a buckle.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I got
a buckle massage. Yeah.
Got the buckle.
The lady who did my TMJ Botox told me about this man who abused my neck, but it feels incredible. Like I can move. I couldn't turn my head. I couldn't fucking turn my head without hearing like fascia in my ears.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, and then I'm going to go to Whistler.
Yeah.
And then what am I going to do in between times? We can, as we continue to do, read the saddest news in the world so we can bring it to you every week.
Listen, and boy, have we got some fun for you this week. I mean, we just do. It's that new thing you're doing. We could say that for sure.
Yes.
Which is very exciting.
Which you just recorded 2 versions of. I did because you're going to be
Dateline with Peru Flores, who you don't know, Erin, but I told him we should have him in Act 1 on the free feed because he's so fun.
Cannot wait.
And I did a Dateline with him and this new thing we're doing with him because I'm going to be out of town, so we have some episodes pre-recorded for you because Erin's schedule is so wacko.
It's so wacko. My head's out of wacko.
Thank you.
We've got some vault items as per usual. Episode 87. You went to Palm Springs for 4th of July. And
Something
I marathon Kitchen Nightmares. How things haven't changed. You would go to Palm Springs.
I don't know. I feel like I'm a little over it.
You're over it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of, it's not sleepy anymore. It's like a scene.
It's like a scene, I think. And I think I'm a little over it. I'm over a lot of things these days.
I do have to say the idea of an episode being you went to Palm Springs and I watched Kitchen Nightmares. It really doesn't. It doesn't.
Our days used to be action packed, baby. No, but back then Palm Springs was the most fun idea. I think it's more just staying in a group house at this point is not really my jam. I don't think I could do that again.
No, but this was when you were doing Ace Hotel, which you also can't do again because Ace Hotel is a fucking nightmare.
Forget it. I can't do any of it.
People playing videos on their phones all day long.
Mm-mm.
I know because I was there during the fires. I stayed in Palm Springs and people were acting a fool.
On the airplane out to New York, this lady next to me was playing full volume a movie on her phone.
The flight attendants don't put up with that anymore.
They didn't, but I said to her, like, do you have headphones by any, like, very nice. I was like, do you have headphones by any chance? She goes, no, but if you ask the flight attendant, they'll be able to give you some. And I go, no, sorry, for you. And she goes, honey, headphones don't fit into this phone. And I was like, no, they do. They sell headphones that can fit in there or you can get AirPods. And she goes, no, for this phone, they don't make it. And I go, what kind of phone is it? She goes, iPhone. And I go, okay. I go, you know what? Because then I felt badly for her. Because like, how is she going to watch anything? So I go, it actually doesn't bother me that much. I'll put my headphones in and you just watch it. And she was like, no, I couldn't do that. She goes, honestly, I just want to sleep. And this movie is terrible. And I go, what movie are you watching? And she goes, you know, The Lady and the Thing. And I was like, got it. She didn't end up watching anything more. And I even said it again. I said, please watch whatever you want. It won't bother me. She wouldn't do it. I felt bad.
This is the hard thing. But honestly, I'm sorry. I can't have all the TVs on in the airplane. I can't
either. All right, what else?
Everyone has a phone and nobody reads the instruction manual. They just arrogantly move forward as if they understand this complicated piece of machinery.
I don't think phones have instruction manuals anymore. I think it's all just done.
They literally walk you through when you first get a phone. It's like, would you like to know the features of this phone? And I skip because I've had a phone for a while. But you know what else is available for people that's also on the phone is the internet.
You know what else is available on this new thing we're doing, Erin? This is a 10 out of 10 tease.
Oh.
This week we're talking about clown etiquette, the origin of pantyhose, Ricky Lake, and an 80s makeup tutorial. I can't think of anything better.
Dreams.
Also, don't forget the first act of our video episodes every week is free on YouTube.
And that's where you get to hear about Palm Springs and Kitchen Nightmares.
everything. You can find us by searching Attitudes Pod on YouTube. It's just the first act, though. So if you want the full show, you'll go to patreon.com/attitudes. You want to get into some shoes?
Let's do it. As promised, sad news of the week. And surprisingly, not in America. I did a DNA test on America and it's 99.9% certain that UK is the father. If I was on Maury Povich, UK is the father.
Yeah, this is fucked up.
I know. And like father, like son, the UK is acting a fucking fool at the moment. So in case you missed it, ICYMI.
Well done.
Hard every time.
I know.
Britain's Supreme Court ruled last week that the legal definition of a woman is someone biologically born female. Born biologically female. Now, they ruled that the concept of sex is binary. A person is either a man or a woman, period. End of story, stop. Now, why the fuck are they getting engaged with this wrong side of history bullshit?
I feel like did J.K. Rowling pay all of them or something? Like,
she supported this group like publicly, but I don't know if she did financially. I'll tell you all about it. It's a bunch of TERFs, and it started in Scotland, and they're called For Women Scotland. And the word order itself is harassment to mine ears. For Women Scotland.
Yeah, it's not great.
What? For women?
For women
dash Scotland?
Or it should be Scotland for women? I don't know.
Women
for Scotland?
For Scotland?
It doesn't make any sense.
Even if you just do FWS, that also sucks and is hard. Like,
it does.
We're already off to a bad start. We know these are ding dong dilly heads, okay?
Yeah, because it makes you think of professional wrestling, the WFS.
It absolutely does.
Mm-hmm.
But it's FWS.
Yeah, it's exactly. That's the
For Women Scotland? I'm going to say it every time because it's too dumb not to.
It's very dumb.
What did you say? Women for wrestling?
No, WFS is the same as the wrestling one, WWE. Isn't that the same letters?
WWF and the WWE?
No, isn't WFS and WWE the same letters? Yeah.
Yeah. So the For Women Scotland got mad. Okay.
Yeah.
Because in 2018, in Scotland, Parliament passed a law that public organizations in the country are required to fill half their board member positions with women. And they included trans women as long as they have something called a gender recognition certificate that identifies them as female. Listen, wow, we're getting into specific territory and regulating the wrong fucking people, but
seriously,
bypassing the good intentions of the fucking Scottish Parliament. I suppose this was some sort of protection for women and trans women so that some knucklehead cis man doesn't identify as trans solely for the purpose of being included on the board. To which I say, punish. I don't know what to say. It's like if you've just turned.
You can't even get on that logic train because it's so fucked up and bigoted, and they cheat so hard and try to exclude people with every ounce of their fiber because they feel like someone might be getting something they're not.
But the thing is
the like, logic train they go on.
No, it doesn't make sense.
Outlandish.
No. And like the Scottish government was trying to do something good. They were like, we have a gender parity problem on boards in our country. We would like to make it 50-50. Hey, in that 50% women, we are including trans women. Because trans women are women. P.S. Closed book. Stop fucking around. We wouldn't have to come in here and fucking punish all y'all if you did the right thing in the first place. Then we wouldn't have to be in this business. You could just do the whole fucking thing right, and then you wouldn't even hear from us, the Scottish government. But here we are because everyone fucked around and found out. You're finding out. So these women, For Women Scotland,
the same initials as the WWE.
They were like, this isn't fair that trans women get to be a part of this 50%. They didn't at any point say before this ruling, they were fucking silent when they were like, the gender parity is off on the boards. They didn't give a fuck that it was majority male. Now all of a sudden they're making it 50% mandate for women and including trans women. And now they have a fucking problem. No, first of all. Okay. So they were basically like, For Women Scotland said this rule about trans women being women, which they are, is going to impact shelters, abuse victims, hospitals, and sports. So they sued the government of Scotland and lost.
But instead wouldn't it affect essentially like where trans women can use single sex spaces? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like if it's a men's room and a women's room, that all of a sudden that would sort of threaten their livelihood in every way. If it's a women's shelter or a men's shelter, do you understand what I'm saying?
But I don't understand.
Does it trickle down to everything?
The ignorance, they basically were like, oh no, first boards of businesses. And then all of a sudden I'm going to have to share a bathroom with a trans woman. And I don't want to do that because I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird fear, irrational fear.
Things that don't actually exist.
I will tell you what, if a trans woman needed a place to seek shelter from a domestic abuse situation, I don't think the right thing to say is not in my women's shelter.
That's what I mean. Like it trickles down to every aspect of being, of personhood, and of who you are.
And you've now basically fought the courts so hard instead of putting your time and energy into, I don't know, food insecurity, childhood poverty, all problems economy. In Scotland, inflation, the problem with gender disparity in the first place. You don't care about any of that stuff. Now you care because trans women are being included in a governmental mandate under the umbrella women. What the fuck is the problem? That's what I mean. There is no problem.
And the damage is so far reaching. That's the saddest part. Literally, any single sex sort of space is just, you're fucked.
But like, as you said, it's like the logic train that they are on makes no sense. And I'll get into it. But basically, they took this to the UK Supreme Court and the Supreme Court sided with them.
Right.
You will not be shocked to know that the co-directors of For Women Scotland are Susan Smith, Marion Calder, and a woman with a snappy DMV clerk's name, Trina Budge.
Trina Budge. I hope you.
But honey, Trina does not budge.
Good.
Okay.
Good or bad? Now I don't know.
No, bad.
Oh, bad. Because well, fuck her then.
They're like these women. I'm going to show you this picture too, which made me absolutely irate. But okay, so they're out there sorting some tiny ass needle, saying that they are not anti-trans. They said. They said in an interview, this is not about prejudice or bigotry. It's not about hatred for another community. It's about saying there are differences, and biology is one of those differences, and we need protections based on that. Except their actions led to a court ruling that a government issued gender recognition certificate, which in my view is already a bridge too far.
Yes.
No one should ever have to, no one born cisgendered has to prove that. Nobody, really. Yeah, you don't have to.
No.
And so why do you need another government stamp? Why is the government now in control of how you get to identify? So put that aside. But they're saying that we have pushed the government to say that even a government issued gender recognition certificate is not enough to qualify a person for sex-based protections under the Equality Act. So because of this, trans people are now pushed to a gray, undefined middle area because they're outside of the binary. When you keep saying that this is not about bigotry and then keep fighting for definitions based to define differences and protections based on biology, you are a bigot.
100%. And also it's even beyond the gray area that you would then really not let trans people align themselves with their gender identity. I mean, that's like so violent.
Why
to be like in a place that's only for men or only for women, like you can't go to the one if you're a trans woman, you can't go to the one for women. So it's humiliating, disturbing, traumatic, all of those things.
And the thing awful. that they're outright saying this is not bigotry, like talk is cheap, and honey, in your case, it is on the clearance aisle.
Just
your
because
talk
you say
did
it
not
doesn't
sell
make
at
it
Macy's.
true. Yeah.
Yes. Othering people with categories, I would argue, wouldn't it be nice if we didn't need any categories at all because everyone was just fucking cool and it didn't matter? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But unfortunately, we're in a world where we have to identify as certain groups because those groups are being targeted because of the way they identify. Like,
right.
You're being forced to constantly define who you are because if you don't do it, someone else is going to do it and they're going to start regulating against your fucking existence. Mm-hmm. I am exhausted that there are not medical professionals or gender experts who come to these cases, these court cases, and literally come in and say, there is not a pure binary in nature. That is not how nature works. It's not based on any facts. They're just saying this male-female shit. It's just, but there's no science. There's no, like, why are there no experts in these rooms? Why is it court? Why is it judicial experts who are obviously very biased? And then these fucking people fighting for the wrong side of history. And they're the ones making all the decisions. Whereas there's could be experts, people who identify this way, who could talk about how they'd be impacted by this. They never have to face the facts or people that they would.
No, I mean, they refuse to. And not to mention, like, can't we give ourselves the benefit of the doubt here that we've evolved beyond what occurs in other natural worlds? You know what I mean? Like, who fucking cares? Who cares? This is not what you're talking about, but this is the animal thing of like, oh, well, even parrots can be gay, or oh, well, even it's sort of like, fuck you, I'm not a fucking parrot, asshole.
Yes. But
I don't want to hear it. We should be beyond that. Like, we should just be at the point where it's like, are they hurting you? No. Let them live.
I agree.
Period.
It shouldn't
respectfully.
You shouldn't have to have an expert come in and say, well, actually in nature, naturally occurring.
They wouldn't listen to them anyway.
I know they wouldn't. You're absolutely right. So what is beyond is that these women, 4 Women Scotland, took an effort by a government to rectify a gender disparity and circled back and somehow reinforce these rules that are based on shit ass beliefs. Like, you know, these women got triggered by some scarcity mentality that trans people are going to take up all the spots, or some fear-based irrational thought in their mind that went into some perverted place that they are making up. That's not based on any facts. And then they put all this energy into fighting these protections for people. I don't get it. These are women. And like, I'm always like women should know better, but there's always women out there drinking the fucking toxic male Kool-Aid and reinforcing this shit. What they should have done is said yes to women on boards, but also we need even more efforts for the LGBTQ plus community who need even more boosting. And we are here to put forth efforts to make that happen. They didn't do that. They just fucking, this is what's most disturbing. Can I show you a picture of them? Have you seen the picture of of these women coming out of the courtroom? Can you see this?
Big win for them.
This is Susan Smith and Marion Calder. Now, let me just point out some stuff real quick. So Susan has on a green suit, wrong color, glasses.
2 different greens, yeah.
2 different greens, okay. And then Marion, also sweater set, suit, okay.
I can't believe this brings them joy.
Joy. But let me just say something, okay? These women, disgusting the way they come out of this fucking courtroom. But these dumb fucking bitches, these stupid fucking sluts, don't even realize, these fucking festering cunts don't even realize that once upon a time, it would have been illegal for them to be outside wearing pants.
Right.
If you are all in on the imaginary rules that we made up for men and women, I want to see you in a fucking corset, in a petticoat, and my God, how dare you walk in public without makeup on?
Yep.
Awful. Your hair's looking awfully frumpy for a woman.
I better not catch you with a crossbody bag.
I better not see you in a fucking sensible heel, you dumb bitch.
Yep.
And you know that in the 17th century, women were not painted wearing spectacles. You could only do that if you were a man in the clergy or academia. So
you couldn't read or see?
No. So how dare you come outside with your fucking glasses?
Yeah.
If you want to be hardcore about your sex-based rules, commit first, you fucking slut.
Wow.
I hate these women. And I don't hate many people, but I hate these women.
Yeah.
Coming out of that courtroom with their hands raised.
I know. Like, sweet victory is mine.
And you're shitty. I'm sorry.
I get to commit acts of violence left and right.
Just sitting at home.
A huge victory for how many countries? Northern Ireland, Wales, Scotland, England.
Yeah.
Fucked.
And for what?
Mm-hmm.
For fucking what?
No.
And that everyone had to see them in those ill-fitting suits.
Listen.
I really hope, I keep saying this. I keep saying this. This death rattle shit. I hope this is the fucking ugly ass face of the before times and that we soon will be in the after times. I really fucking hope so. Cause let me tell you something. It's not like they're not getting, hearing about what people think about them. They're getting an onslaught of what people think about what they've done. They keep doubling down and pretending that, and also being like, you're hurting my feelings. Oh yeah. You started attacking people who are marginalized. What did you think was going to happen? You think people are just going to let you fucking do it? No. No. No.
Erin, I've got a real rattler for you this week too. It's a real rattler. Sergio, can we put in a rattlesnake sound effect here? Because this was a real
I
rattler.
love your Jimmy Durante.
Real rattler. Yeah, my Jimmy Durante. Chaka chaka cha. I've got a real old West, actually more deep South rattler for you, Erin. You know rattlers?
Yeah. Rattlesnakes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Boy, have I got a real Oh, you've got a real rattler for you this week, Erin. Is that what they say?
Who's they?
So the very first state alphabetically and the 50th state in education. So the first state alphabetically, the last state in education, Alabama, aka Bama, which drives me crazy that people say that, but I know it's because of their football team. Did you know this?
Mm-hmm.
AKA, they're also called the Crimson Tide.
Yes.
So could not be prouder to be red. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I tell you what I call my Crimson Tide.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
That time of the month.
The Red Sea. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alabama lawmakers, Bama lawmakers, the Crimson Tiders, the real rattlers, approved a bunch of bills on Thursday that did a few things specifically targeting education, where again, they are 50th in the nation. That's where they rank. In some rankings, they're 45th, and in some rankings, they're 50th. So not great. I mean, those are not, listen, I wouldn't be proud that in one publication I was 45th overall in education of all the US states. But anyway, here's their bright idea to make education even better in Bama. And it's a real rattler. Here's the layout of the bills that got approved just on Thursday. Expand the use of Christian texts in public schools and limit protections for LGBTQ plus students. I can't think of anything better than making schools less safe for than making schools less safe for students. I mean, isn't that what every student body wants?
Yeah.
And I can think of a better way to do it.
Especially American schools.
Completely. I can think of a better way to do it than to not only go through adolescence, which is its own hell, but also then to literally fear hell itself by all the Christianity and the text you're about to throw into the mix.
And you know what else is cool on top of that? The way that kids bully now online.
Wonderful. Yeah.
It's
24 hours.
Yeah. 24 hours.
So the bills, which passed with overwhelming majorities, would enforce in public schools the display of the Ten Commandments in all public schools, along with banning drag shows, which, first of all, I didn't even know that many public schools in Alabama had to deal with, but whatever.
Are they talking about when they do like you can't take it with you and they don't have enough?
Yes,
like
or if they do
boys
like a little parody spoof and everyone immediately laughs when like the boy comes out dressed as the cheerleader, you know what I mean? Like
powder puff stuff, yeah.
Right. So mandate the display of the Ten Commandments, ban drag shows, prohibit teachers from displaying pride flags, and prohibit them from facilitating formal discussion of sexuality, and also would allow chaplains to volunteer as school counselors. Deeply fucked.
No.
By the way, a chaplain is like, for those of you who don't know, is like a religious leader, but is there to, like, if you're in the hospital, they come to sort of spiritually guide you. If you're in a bad place, I guess they sort of could be considered like spiritual counselors and Christian counselors, really. But I know when I say chaplain, that what I think of is obviously Gary Chaplin, one of the foremost caterers on the west side of El Paso, Texas, that every family in my neighborhood would use to cater their functions.
A man named Chaplin?
Gary Chaplin.
Carrie?
Gary.
How dare you?
Sorry. Gary. Like Gary Grant. So.
Now I get it. But I don't like, because here's the problem with that. There's a million problems, but there was a chaplain.
Name? Oh.
Huh?
You're not talking about Gary Chaplin.
I got 99 problems and a chaplain is one.
Yeah, I understand.
When my dad was at the VA, there was a chaplain there and he would come visit my dad. And I was like, at a certain point, my dad was like, you can tell that guy to fuck off.
Can you
because
keep this
it was so like, hello, my son. Like, it was so overtly religious that my dad was like, it was absolutely Friar Tuck.
Yeah. No need for that here. Thanks. When I say, don't forget that Joan Crawford, her last words on her deathbed were, there was a priest over her. She like woke up and her last words were, "Don't pray for me." Perfect.
Love it.
So then, by the way, Gary Chaplin, as I mentioned before, one of the foremost caterers on the west side of El Paso, Texas. He did retire, though, Erin, during the pandemic. He was like, you know what? This is a sign. I'm done.
Do you recall his most famous dish that everyone was like, you got to get Gary's blank?
It was like an asparagus with like some sort of béarnaise sauce. Hello?
Awful? I can't think of a better hot weather food.
I remember thinking it was so elegant.
Béarnaise in Texas in that weather.
And ever since then.
Doesn't béarnaise have raw egg in it?
Probably.
Yeah.
It's like a hollandaise, basically. Ever since his retirement, he has been usurped by megalicious meals, which, by the way, I love. I've been to parties recently, or really my mom sometimes will ask Megalicious to make some meals for us when I'm in town. And I got to tell you, they're 10 out of 10. So
that's why that's why they have the mega. If you're ever in El Paso and you own your own home, you find yourself owning a home that could service at least
a lot of people
20 people at a dinner table, absolutely call up Megalicious.
No, but Megalicious will even just bring dinner over for you.
Oh, they will?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Do they deliver to Vancouver?
They don't.
Oh, that's too bad.
But it's fabulous. Speaker of the House, Nathaniel Ledbetter in Alabama, who is a piece of shit, described the bills as, quote, common sense. Well, the Democrats, of course, were furious. They're small but mighty in Alabama. They do exist. But they got really pissed and said this is an absolute waste of taxpayer money. None of this is going to bring down the cost of eggs. Now, that to me is real apples and oranges, or eggs and slushies. But I think his point of being like, I think it is now lost on people for them to say, how does this make our kids smarter? How does this make our kids feel more included? How does this make a safer environment for school? I think all anyone cares about right now is the cost of eggs. So I don't even fault them for comparing those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the Democrats in that case are right in Alabama, because how does this make the school system better? How does this make the world better? How does this keep me from inflation? And how does this keep money in my pocket? It is no.
Don't you just want someone to be good up there and be like, I don't know how y'all sleep at night wasting everybody's time and money like this.
Yeah, y'all
wasting everybody's time and money.
Exactly.
And you know it. And you don't even care.
So Alabama
making people's lives hard because you want this like boogeyman to like put, so you don't have to work. So you don't have to actually do your fucking job.
It's crazy. Alabama, through this, has joined, there are at least 20 other states that have considered doing legislation in just in this year alone, in 2025, 20 other states that have considered legislation that would also mandate the display of the 10 Commandments in public schools or in state buildings, which is wild. My favorite thing about it, though, is that the conservative lawmakers, specifically Alabama State Representative Mark Gidley, who has real Walton Goggins hair in terms of like the hair starts halfway up on the crown and then is fully blown dried back.
Do you have a picture or shall I Google?
You can Google him.
What's his name?
It's Representative Mark, M-A-R-K, Gidley, G-I-D-L-E-Y. Just like the hair starts at the back and then finishes with a body wave. Yeah. This is really stuff. Mark Gidley and other conservatives say that the 10 Commandments, by the way, this is according to them, has nothing to do with religion. To quote Nuni Leaks, how does the 10 Commandments have nothing to do with religion? It's
one of her famous quotes.
It's literally one of the foundations of the Old Testament on the top 5 list of most noted things to happen in the Bible. But okay. Gidley called it, quote, one of the principal foundational documents that guided the ideas that created this great country.
No, you absolutely have got it so wrong. It was the exact opposite, sir.
He also
It's called separation of church and state for a fucking reason, you dumb bitch.
Correct. He also said that don't worry because the display of the 10 Commandments is going to be supported and supplemented by materials that emphasize its historical context. What historical context? Wasn't there a burning bush involved? Is that the historical context we're talking about? I'm trying to understand the full historical context of this.
It would be as if it, like Lord of the Rings was taught in schools as history.
Was this before or after someone divided the ocean into 2 parts?
Oh, maybe. Oh, you're talking about the part where like a fucking man built an ark to put 2 of every animal.
Different, but yes, same sort of thing.
It's in the trilogy, right?
Erin, it's in the trilogy.
Yeah,
it's in the trilogy. On that same day, representatives in Alabama also passed 2 different bills that would ban drag performances in public schools and libraries without parental consent, and also ban teachers from displaying pride flags or facilitating formal discussions on LGBTQ plus issues. The only openly gay senator in Alabama, whose name is Neil Rafferty, obviously testified against this bill. I shouldn't even say obviously, but did the right thing here, which is why representation matters so much when they're legislating against you. Neil said, when we ban their identities from the classroom, we're telling them the best they can hope for is silence. Well, I won't help silence them because I've been there, because I know what that silence feels like. Elect someone who looks like you and sounds like you always. Because that's right. This is someone talking from experience.
Yeah. Unless you're a hardcore pervert like me and Bryan, then we can't really do that. No.
All of that on top of the fact that Alabama already has an existing Don't Say Gay bill law on the books. So already on the books, they have a law that prohibits classroom discussion about gender and sexuality that's not, quote, age appropriate. And that's for students below the 5th grade. But this one wouldn't just be for students below the 5th grade. It would extend that to a ban on all grade levels for prohibiting class discussion about gender and sexuality.
So they can do the wrong thing twice and the right thing never.
So that they're set up the first 18 years so they can leap into adulthood not knowing anything about how things are made, how things are caught, and how to prevent bad things from happening. Also on Thursday, the Alabama State Senate advanced legislation that would put a politically appointed board in what is their Department of Archives and History. Now, the reason they would want a politically appointed board in front of the Archives and History is probably to erase some of it, probably to archive it differently. I'm sure there's erasure all over that. And also this happened.
I know a big historical thing that they could probably.
that Alabama would love to rewrite from their history books without a doubt. They also, this was hot on the heels of lawmakers getting upset when the Alabama Department of Archives and History had a lecture there on queer history. So this all came after the department had a queer lecture on queer history that they were like, no, that board at the Historical and Archivist Society has to be politically appointed. Now, there was a rally outside the Alabama, I guess, State House. And there was a guy there named Chuck Poole, a Baptist pastor for 45 years in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, who said this is all rooted in fear. And it's a fear that America is changing and we're losing power and control. And I think that's a wonderful thing to say from someone who was 45 years a pastor in the South, because he's right. I agree. Yeah. And by the way, that's a good thing. Because when you operate from fear and hatred, you're going to lose. You don't have your wits about you. You're constantly panicked. You're a dying breed. And finally, in other news, bigger news, Don't Say Gay is going to the Supreme Court, which I guess is sort of like if you audition for American Idol and they tell you you're going to Hollywood, but except only if you were deeply bigoted and hateful. So in some way, if you're horrible, this is a giant honor. So congrats to all of those people's agents. But the U.S. Supreme Court is set to hear oral arguments on April 22nd, next week. Actually, they would have already by the time this was out, but I think the decision will come down in June in a case called Mahmoud versus Taylor. It's a case that's being brought to the Supreme Court that challenges the inclusion of queer inclusive books in Maryland public schools. So the plaintiffs in this case are arguing that their religious rights are violated by the presence of LGBTQ inclusive books.
Do people bring the violence that is in the Bible into play in these cases of, I can't believe that you would have a problem with two penguins wanting to raise two gay penguins raising a penguin.
Also, this is all Old Testament stuff. Like, why are you Christian if you're not even following the New Testament? You know what I mean? Which is about hope and forgiveness, I believe. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the plaintiffs in that case are arguing their religious rights are violated because of LGBTQ inclusive books in Maryland public schools, even when it's optional reading.
Okay.
Even when the students don't have to read it.
Fragile ass belief system.
So depending on what happens at the Supreme Court, that obviously has implications for schools all across the country. We know we're on a conservative court. Occasionally, one or two of them might do the right thing. So we'll see what happens in June. But yeah, Don't Say Gay is going national. They're going to Hollywood in a very fucked up way.
Take Fountain.
Always.
Okay, we got some Patreon comments.
We did.
From
it was
episode
very lively
669. Sorry, 699.
This was our pre-7. By the way, how fabulous was that 700th episode? Thanks to Sergio.
Made my heart sore.
Unbelievable.
Paul said, I'm surprised Erin didn't record the episode from a payphone at the Vancouver jail. She seems to get in trouble every 5 minutes. I'll tell you, I'm waiting for it.
Alicia Peters said, as a Southwest flight attendant you are the best flight attendants, who is literally listening to this to help me get ready for work. I feel like this is a personal podcast just made for me. All the things Bryan and Erin were saying about Southwest made me smile. Also, I have to mention the coffee pots do get cleaned at the end of the day at Southwest. The overnight cleaning crew replaces all the pots with clean ones for the first flight of the day. So it's safe to drink the coffee if you want some. I love you, Alicia.
Let me tell you something. You better believe my route of choice from Albuquerque to Los Angeles is ABQ to BUR Southwest, baby.
BUR.
That's my route. Girl. Those are my people. That's my airline.
I'm an LAX to an ELP.
Right on Southwest. I don't dare take another one. And I would love to hear from you about how you feel about the new seat assignments.
Me too. Tell us about the new changes.
Because I like the old system.
I know. Me too.
If you ask me.
Andrew
but I can see why if people get confused by it, and if you want, I don't know.
Andrew Smith said, in my head canon, it is now the case that Annie grows up to become Charlize Theron as Eileen Wuornos. I think that's fact.
Did we say that, or is that someone?
Who knows? I feel like, couldn't that go either way?
Really, it could.
We either did or we didn't.
Episode 700 already says, I'm a newer listener, almost a year, I think, but y'all have truly been such a joy. I've never really considered myself one for podcasts. And now I'm like, is it Wednesday yet? That makes me really happy.
Me too. Lauren said, oh, I watched Infomania in high school in the Midwest and it really introduced ideas and viewpoints that I just wasn't exposed to elsewhere. At 36 now, I really think it helped shape me into the absolute weirdo I am today. I've been listening ever since. You're my longest term parasocial relationship. Lately, Dateline and this new thing are a constant source of cry laughter I can find in my week, and I'm so grateful for it. Happy 700. Hope you keep going.
Oh, that's so nice to hear from you, Lauren.
So sweet. And Tom Crun said, happy 700. This podcast has been a guiding light for the past 10 plus years. I've been a dear listener. It helped me come out and has kept me politically engaged and fired up. Sorry for all the jokes I've stolen to become the office comic relief. Honey, they're yours.
Steal away. Okay. This is this new thing we're doing, 21. Allison says, Tony was the brand of perm my mom used on herself. Yes. Okay. Ooh. I also had Tony perms. And the one for kids was Tonette. The smell of ammonia still brings back bad memories.
It's so wild that people just used to perm their kids' hair.
Chemicals at home. Bad idea.
Jesse Walker says, I imagine Bryan screaming and crying at the Salty show, like Beatlemania, for sure.
Is that how you were? And then
of
also,
course, I was so excited.
Matt wants to know if you'd be interested in taking over the role of Salty in a gritty new reboot he's currently writing.
Matt, of course I would be. Thank you for considering. And finally, for the Poison Twist episode we just did on Dateline, Erica Zalatin says, the Yoders were my whole family's chiropractor growing up. I would go to Mary a few times in my early 20s and admired her so much. She was so giving, calm, and kind. I believe it. I don't think there was a mean bone in her body. The fact that the murderer is out on a technicality is disgusting. I'm so excited you covered this. I was wondering if you would. Love you guys so much. Wow.
And then Jackadon, yeah, of course, but I really think we need Cluckery, Mr. Eggs, and Feathers office merch.
It's true.
Oh, wait. Mr. Eggs and Feathers. Is that one thing?
No, remember, those were the names we gave the chickens that she was feeding in that episode.
That's right. But Squawk I'm sorry, what would Jackadon do? Be the Jackadon you want to see in the world? That
was it.
That's what I
want.
And
finally, Clive says Squawk Box might be derogatory to chickens, so let's leave that off to be safe. That's fair. We don't have to put the Squawk Box on there. Please join us on the Patreon.
We'd love to see you on Patreon. Of course, at the Lady Attorney level, you get to see us once a month. We do a Q&A afterwards. It's really nice. It's a fantastic community. You can pitch your merch ideas there too. It's been happening. And then in the meantime, be the Jackadon you want to see in the world. Be the Jackadon you want to see in the world.